Okay, so now we will begin VoD analysis of this game. I'm going to pause it right now, and I'm probably not going to unpause it for another 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, first, let's rearrange. Is this all in order? Yes, it is. Okay, so first, you are the Lee Sin. I'm going to turn off Fog of War on the blue side. So your team is... In this game, the lane and jungle matchups are: top lane is Echo versus Pantheon. Mid lane is LeBlanc versus Lux. Bot lane is Ashe Sona versus Jinx Nunu. Oh god, that's annoying. So in this game, let's analyze each matchup individually, and then from there we will move on to what you should be doing this game in terms of game plan. So top lane is Echo versus Pantheon. Now, Echo is a pretty decent bruiser in his own right. However, he probably cannot outtrade Pantheon. Pantheon is an early to mid game terror, but he falls off extremely hard. On the other hand, he is also a massive lane bully whose constant Q pressure and targeted stun make him very, very snowbally. His ult allows him to roam extremely far. Like from top lane, he easily roams to mid lane from his lane. If he backs, he can literally roam to any lane he wants, and with his TP, he can TP back. Though I won't comment on whether or not it's correct to take TP on Pantheon here. So, Echo, on the other hand, Echo is somewhat uh Echo is somewhat comparable power early, like level 1 probably, but he is not nearly as strong poke-wise as Pantheon. In this lane, Pantheon's going to tend to be extremely aggressive. This is a lane that would be extremely good to camp, and why is that? Well, basically, you have a snowball champion on your team. You want to enable your snowball champion to start snowballing and in the process get yourself ahead while shutting down one of the enemy team, right? Part of the reason that it's so good to do this is, in this case, because Pantheon has a targeted stun. He can't fuck this up unless he somehow W's a minion, in which case you are welcome to sit back and then cry in a corner. However, assuming he doesn't do that, this makes landing your skills as a Lee Sin extremely easy because he's fucking standing still. I hope you can hit a stationary fucking target. Now, let's take a look at mid lane. So mid lane is Lux versus LeBlanc. This is a LeBlanc favored matchup because she's extremely mobile and Lux has literally only skill shots to work with. Why would you gank this lane? Let's analyze that. So why would you gank this lane? Well, if Lux gets ahead, she becomes a catch monster, correct? You've seen Lux's go Q someone in the mid game and then follow up with ER, and suddenly, wow, their ADC is dead. However, what are the downsides of ganking this lane? Well, the first downside, and basically the major downside, is LeBlanc has a metric fuck ton of mobility. She has 2 Ws and a flash, while Lux's lockdown is pretty fucking pathetic. She has a Q that snares for a good duration, but the problem is it's a medium speed skill shot. Her E can set her up, but there's literally nothing she can do to prevent LeBlanc from dashing away. Therefore, the only time you would be able to actually move in and get an effective gank off is when LeBlanc has just used one or both of her Ws. And while this is possible, I would not advise repeatedly looking to this lane to camp, because you would have to wait a long time in the side for that to happen. And with that could be a lot of wasted time in this game, which is exactly what you don't want to do as a jungler. You want to make use of as much of your time as possible. If you are playing efficiently as a jungler, there is no reason you should ever be behind in a game. Now looking at bot lane. Oh, to conclude for mid lane. Probably not a great gank in most situations, and I would not advise coming here unless it's some very extreme circumstances. Okay, bot lane is Ashe Sona versus Jinx Nunu. So Ashe Sona pokes like a motherfucker, and Nunu basically doesn't do jack shit. Nunu is going to sit here, he's going to jack off, he's going to throw ease when it gets in range, which coincidentally is the same time that he will be poked to hell by Ashe Sona, who have their dicks out waiting to slap him in case he steps out of the bush. In terms of setup, your team has very little. Nunu has a really good slow that can be followed by Jinx slow, but notice that you actually don't have any hard CC. It's kind of it's kind of a good game because you have so many slows, but on the other hand, it's kind of on you to land the initial CC to allow that to happen. Like, look at your team CC, right? You have slows and then a slow and a very, very close range snare. On the other hand, this pales comparison to a massive AoE stun, followed by a really long single target stun. Like, this lane is okay to gank for. You have a hyper carry on your team, and Sona is a squishy. So it's not a terrible lane to gank. I would advise that because you have a hyper carry on your team, you probably want to gank once or twice to set this lane up and have your lane be slightly ahead so that your Jinx can scale into the mid game and become a massive hyper carry that she is. So let's review. Looking at these three lanes cumulatively, your plan this game is probably you would want to start red, do the red cheese, immediately go top. As soon as Pantheon hits 2, he W's onto the Echo, and then you follow up with your level 3, and if you don't get a kill, you immediately burn Echo's flash, and this sets up a kill for Pantheon later in the lane when he pokes out Echo. And if not a kill, he at least forces that extremely early teleport, meaning that your Echo is at a massive disadvantage. And from then on, you would want to gank bot once or twice to set it up. Mid lane, you probably won't touch. Your Lux's job this game is to sit back and farm. Her goal is to not die, and her goal is also to um, her goal is to warn you of any roams by LeBlanc, who should be roaming in this matchup if she doesn't kill Lux. And if necessary, Lux will follow LeBlanc, but don't depend on that. You want to have your eyes on mid or around mid to see if LeBlanc is going somewhere, because if she is, she could like casually pop out and counter gank you at one of the lanes you're going to. So let's begin this replay. Oh fuck, I forgot the jungle matchup. Okay, the jungle matchup is Lee Sin versus Renekton. So Renekton is a mediocre jungler. What people think is good about Renekton is his really good ganks, right? He has a long dash, a double dash into a targeted stun. The problem with Renekton in jungle is that his clears are subpar at best, and his kit is more suited to being a lane bully like he is in top lane rather than a jungler. Part of that is because the abilities have this fucking long ass cooldown, which means that most of your clear is going to come from your autos. So his clear is actually going to be pretty rough. However, after he gets through his first few clears, Renekton is an extremely strong dueler, especially if this one goes for like a Red Smite Warrior or something. His empowered W will probably take out a third of your health by itself. And then from there he can probably combo you to death. You should not underestimate Renekton in jungle. His ganks are also decent. However, he will be at a disadvantage in the early game against Lee Sin. If it comes to a 2v2, it'll basically depend on how you play it to win, and whether or not Renekton has Fury built up. Now let's begin. And right off the bat, I see that you're making a huge mistake. You are going to blue.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
So the reason that you should not be doing this is not because the blue star is bad, but because it is worse than this star. The red into the Krug start. Pausing. The reason this star is so good is because you do the red with the help of your top laner, in this case, and then you do Krugs. These two camps will give you level 3 at around 2 minutes 10 seconds, or 15 seconds, depending on how good you clear. And then by the time you come over here, it'll be 2 minutes 30 seconds, which is extremely early. At that moment, Pantheon and Echo are probably level 1, approaching level 2, or they've barely just hit level 2. In top lane, they've probably barely hit 2 by the time you come up here. But it's an extremely fast gank. And because it's extremely fast, it's found to be effective because it's very surprising for the enemy to be ganked almost immediately. This is similar to like the level 2 cheese, which I would not recommend now that this cheese exists. Now, if you are blue side, you could also still do this path. This is probably the best path for Lee Sin right now, where you go red buff into Krugs. If you do it on the blue side, where you're ganking bot lane immediately, good god, I'm lacking. If you do that, you will actually come into lane when everyone here is level 1. You have a 2-level advantage on everyone here. And that is actually fucking massive, which is why it's so effective. The downside is that a lot of people know about it, but this is only relevant in probably Plat Plus. Below that, it will still be very effective. And even up there, it's still an effective strategy. So, starting blue buff here, not a good idea.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Hmm,
Minions have spawned.
the fuck? Whatever. This is a really weird blue bar. I'm not used to saying this. You should be clearing properly, but I'll take a look at it anyway. Wow, that's awkward. Auto Q can be faster. Really? You're gonna smite us the second camp too? I think you're supposed to smite the second camp actually. If you already popped a potion, that's unnecessary. Your W will heal it up along with smite. Like you've literally just wasted a potion charge at this point. Wasted an auto. Should have auto in the small ones. No, the clear is acceptable. I'll leave it at that. So here, as expected, top is pushed in and mid is pushed in because top's matchup is aggressive on Pantheon side, correct? In general, I will say the aggressive matchup will tend to push in. So it's no surprise that at this point in the game, Pantheon is pushed in. On the other hand, this is an extremely aggressive matchup for LeBlanc. So LeBlanc will be pushing in towards Lux. However, I don't know what you're doing here. You're ganking mid. That's an interesting choice. I disagree. What's your Lux gonna do here? Holy shit, is it gonna work? Oh my god. Wow, that was extremely sloppy from LeBlanc. Let me pause this for a second and fix. Alright. That didn't fix it at all. So you should not be staying here. You see how fucked you're getting by the Raptors? I don't think doing them is a great idea right now. I think the better path would have been to go scuttle red, ward top, and then wait for Renekton to come. If he doesn't come, you go and do your Krugs. The reason for this is, you saw Renekton here. He was level 2, right? Well, his next likely path is going to be moving up towards top lane, which is extremely pushed in, which is the obvious gank target. So what you want to predict is, you want to predict him doing, let's say, 1 or 2 of these camps, including blue buff, then moving up to gank this lane. So the first thing you want to do, establish scuttle control, which means you have complete vision of the river. And then you get your buffs so that you have the red buff for if you're fighting someone, and then you want to come up immediately for a counter gank. If the counter gank works, you can take the rest of his jungle and or get multiple kills, snowball the fuck out of this lane starting from here. Instead, you decide to do Raptors and red. You decide to just full clear here. I don't think you had any intention of going for the scuttle whatsoever. I'm going to label that a mistake. And like clockwork, there he is. How super? What the fuck? Okay, that shouldn't have happened. Let's pretend that didn't happen and that he was getting ganked. If you had been here for a counter, you would instantly kill this motherfucker. Like, you would be waiting in the bush, you'd pop out, and you would one-shot him. Well, you would win the duel against him regardless, if you play it correctly, and save your second Q for stashes. But instead, you're over here full clearing, which is one of the last things you want to do as Lee Sin. The fact that Lee Sin can full clear doesn't mean he always should. In this case, you shouldn't have. The correct path was, again, Scuttle to get vision control, red to get the power, and then top for the counter. Like here, you want to be. What the fuck are you doing? Really? This is actually gonna happen. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm kind of in disbelief as to what I just watched. Okay, so top lane's in the shitter. Take the farm, go back, get double longsword, and go bot. Now you have the camp bot. You have no other choice. Your top's fucked. He died solo, trying to dive him, and then he TP'd back and then died immediately. I do not agree with buying Smite. I think you should have bought double longsword instead. And or, if you have the money, you would immediately rush a Tiamat. Do you have enough money for a Tiamat? No. Then your buy is probably double longsword boots. Let's see. Interesting, they're both about to die. That pathing, you should be going from Gromp to Wolves if you're starting to clear. The reason for this is, as a general rule, you want to start on the outside of the map and then work your way in when you are clearing. Because remember that they will respawn in that order. As for why it's important, let's say you do Wolves, Gromp. What are you going to do after this camp? After this camp, you're either going to go to Raptors or you're forced into ganking bot. Now, let's say instead you went Gromp, Wolves. What then? Now you still have the option of ganking bot, and you still have the option of going to Raptors. The difference between these two paths is, if you go Gromp to Wolves, look where you end up. You're ending up at Wolves, right? Because that's the last camp you do, and from there, you can have a shorter walking distance to this camp right here. And you have a comparable distance to the bot lane if you're dragging the wolves over and deciding to go over as you're finishing this camp. On the other hand, if you do wolves Gromp, you're ending at Gromp, and this is half the map away from this camp, which means you're wasting time walking across half the map extra in order to get to your next camp. Remember, time is everything as a jungler. You want to preserve as much time as possible. Now, if you do Wolves, Raptors, and you just ignore Gromp, you are leaving up a camp. That's terrible. You should always be taking that if you can, if you have the time to. Okay, let's see what you do here. I'm gonna go with don't gank that. Because I don't think you're gonna be able to get anything out of this. Holy shit, are you? Oh my god, you did. This shit never ceases to amaze me, but that shouldn't have worked. What you do now is probably you walk over here, you drop a ward here, and then you do scuttle, and then you move bot, as soon as you see it. Your response is good, you probably don't want to show yourself here. You probably do not want to fight him right now. Wow, their team is fucking slow to respond. But yeah, that's the reason that I don't think you should have gone for that. The reason is because your team is cut off by this wall. Nunu is like somewhat close, but are you really gonna rely on a fucking Nunu to help you kill someone? Their team, on the other hand, is right here. Their team is gonna respond faster. You cannot one-shot Renekton from full health if he's with people. That's the problem here. So you traded 1 for 1. I'd say that's acceptable, but not the greatest choice here. I think you are fine to just back off, farm, take your blue, and then see what opportunities you have afterwards. But now you are dead. You're fucking dead, so. Now something you have to consider. You gave bot lane a kill. This means you just put your own bot lane behind, because while you got 2 assists, they got a kill and an assist. And moreover, the kill went to the ADC. So, that's something to consider. This lane is now slightly behind. Now, let's see what you do here. You're probably going to go blue Gromp, and then you're going to try to gank bot. Or mid. Knowing you, you're probably going to look towards mid. Mobies are what the fuck? Huh. Okay, Mobies are fine, but you still haven't gotten Tiamat. In this meta, in this jungle, you should be rushing Tiamat as, oh my god, top lane. You should be rushing Tiamat as a lot of AD junglers. Namely, Lee Sin. Others include, well, Kha'Zix is one of the other major ones. Kha'Zix and Rek'Sai. But Lee, in particular, you do want to get a Tiamat early on. Tiamat should be your rush. And the reason is, do you remember how long of a dick these Raptors had, and which they were fucking you with earlier on? You were doing like a level 4 clear, you lost like 3/4 of your health doing these. Tiamat makes doing both this camp and this camp extremely easy because it's got such good AoE. Not to mention, it's a pretty good item on Lee. Now, analyzing Tiamat's stats, Tiamat gives, I think, like 25 AD, which is pretty much efficient on its own without even considering the passive. The passive itself actually adds a shit ton of burst to your combo because the Tiamat active splashes for almost, I think, your entire AD in an AoE around you. That burst is pretty nice. It's definitely an item worth getting. So let's see what you do here. I would go directly bot. I would have angled that towards the bush. And I would just back off here because I don't want to bait my teammates in. I very much doubt you can 2v1 this. Wait, they let you do that? Incredible. Well done. Speed it up. You saw that, right? You saw this ripple over here. This gives you vision of where the enemy jungler is. Okay, a quick note about scrying plants. Scrying plants are both a very good tool and a detrimental one. Because, one, you know where all the scrying plants are going to spawn. One spawns right here, one spawns right here. And it's basically mirrored on the other side of the map. And I guess, yeah. So, what happens is, when you shoot it out, you get complete vision of everything, including stealth targets, such as champions, I think, and wards. Wards are the big one. On the upside, however, when you shoot this ray out, the others see the ray, which means that they know your location as soon as you use the scrying plant. So in this case, you know exactly where Renekton is. I'm going to bet he's like right here. Yeah, look, there he is. So you know his location, you want to be careful of here, and you know that he's going to gank bot here. So I would just take the blast plant. I would not go this way, I would go this way, take the blast plant, come over the wall, intercept Renekton, and fight him. Let's see what you do. You keep farming. Renekton's gonna pop up, yeah, there it is. Okay. And here I would probably, what the fuck are you going? I would probably just continue clearing because there's nothing for you to do right now. What are you doing? Are you waiting for him? Wow, he's terrible. This is ambitious. I like it. However, you have to be careful of that. You were not careful of that. And she's dead. Fuck! Feels good. Yeah, I don't think you respect your Renekton's first. One thing you have to know about Renekton here is, pausing, look at the smites. He is red smite, which means that his dueling is going to be amplified by quite a bit. You have blue smite, and while you are Lee Sin, he is Renekton with red smite. So this probably means that in a straight up duel, you will get bursted extremely hard. Your window here was when he used his W. His W is the thing you have to play around. Because his Q is AoE. While it's very good in lane and on AoE jungle camps, it's pretty much, it's like one of his least prominent abilities in a 1v1. His W, on the other hand, is a single target ability, which means that it's going to be extremely important in a 1v1. W is also Renekton's single largest source of burst. So while he couldn't get away because he used E, Smite and an empowered W basically kills you. Like, basically one-shots you. What keystone is he running, I wonder? Probably Fervor. Oh, it's Colossus. Okay, never mind. If it was Fervor, he'd be fucking terrified, but I guess Colossus is correct here. So now you're 3-2. Feels bad, man. Keep farming. Ignore top lane for the rest of the game, because your top lane is a fucking worthless piece of shit. At this point, it's just completely ungankable. Your Pantheon got shit on in lane. And that's a really sad sentence to hear at like basically all times. It's probably fine to like Q over from this wall from here over to the big one. Even though it wastes your passive, you have enough procs of your passive to keep it always going basically, and it saves you a little bit of walking time. So just a small note about clearing efficiency there. Also, this path is probably okay, but you can also go just Krugs, Red, Raptors. You're trying to lane gank an 0-4 Pantheon, okay? I do not approve. I think this is a colossal waste of time. Because is Pantheon really gonna carry? What is ganking Pantheon gonna get for you? It's gonna get you maybe a kill. On Pantheon, it could get him assist or a kill. What's he gonna do with it? He's gonna fucking int with that shit. You've seen him do that like 2 or 3 times already. He's a level down. He's an item down. 0 out of 10, would not recommend. You're 2 levels down. Point proven. Terrible idea. You're not respecting the burst of the enemy champions.
Shut down.
Wow, they're both cocky fucks, huh? Wow, they're all cocky fucks, huh? I'm crying inside right now. Okay, you got your warrior movie boots, still no Tiamat. In this case, I would have gone Merc boots. Well, movie boots are very good for map movement. That's not something you're good at. So I think movie boots are kind of a waste of money on you. On the other hand, Mercs are going to be pretty much universally good in this game. The reason is, every single member of their team has either magic damage, CC, or both. Echo, shit ton of magic damage. An incredible slow. Does he have a slow? He has a stun for like 2.5 seconds or some shit. Echo definitely has CC, so Mercs are effective against him. Renekton has a fucking long ass stun. Mercs up against those. LeBlanc, all magic damage. A chain and another chain for CC, effective against her. Ashe has a slow and an ult, effective against those. Sona, magic damage. A AoE stun ult, effective against those. Mercs are probably the undisputed choice of boots this game. Also, no Tiamat. You don't have a Tiamat. What the fuck am I watching? What did I just watch? What the fuck? Wow! Now I'm sad. Alright, good catch. You wanna do Herald? It's a fine choice. Do not give this buff to Pantheon, I will cry. These things. Oh, thank God. Okay. Are you going for bot lane here? I think you should have stopped and gotten this on the way here. This gives you a bunch of health. There you go. Badly played. You want to sidestep, like, you want to strafe sideways to avoid her E. Because you know she's going to be using it, and that's something you can dodge. Also fighting another team. Team's going to get shit on here. They're going to take Dragon, they're going to rotate bot. If they're good, they're going to dive, Jinx, take the T1 turret, and they're going to get first turret of the game. Let's see what they do. Jack shit. They do jack shit. I mean, at least they're going to take this, but they're not going to do anything else with it. So that's sad. Okay, so now you're dead. Can't do anything about this. They're going to take it.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
Top lane's doing what top lane does. Interesting. So you right now, let's see what you were doing.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
Here, I would not be heading down because the action's can be over probably before you can do anything. So what I think you should be doing is clear your entire top side, path towards bot side, and by the time you get here, everyone will have backed and done everything, and then you will be here for the next fight with red buff. Let's see what you're gonna do here. Top lane's gonna go down. Champ. He's gone. You're not gonna get him. If you do, mad respect. Oh my God, you're gonna get him. Oh? 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 Oh, you're gonna get him. Waste the TP. Clear your top side, move towards bot. Go. Oh, you finally got a TM mount. Okay. This is a terrible time to get a TM. By terrible, I mean you should have gotten it way earlier. Like, TM is not bad, but the point of the game in which you got it is extremely late. This could have helped you clear us out so much by now, but instead you're just getting it after your first item and your tier 2 boots. Interesting. Very interesting, this lane is. Wow. Wow, Lex is doing your job for you right now. Okay. Here I see you went wolves through river down to here to look for something. That is the incorrect path. The idea to 4-man bot is fine, but the execution is pretty bad. So the path I think should have taken is wolves. Go through here. I want you to invade right here. Come to this blast plant. Hit it. You land over here. Your team pushes in. Nunu starts tanking it. You kick them out, and then you double kill them. Easy. The reason you do that is you get behind them and you bypass all vision. So they actually have no idea that you're there. Because who the fuck is going to ward this path as bot lane? On the other hand, You come through this side and go through the river. Do they have this worded? Yes. Yes, they do. So they know you're coming, and that's why this isn't gonna work. This better not work. I'll be so sad if it does. Oh my god! Holy shit! Nothing's gonna happen here, I bet. Go take this camp. There's no reason for you not to. It's farm. Okay, you have this really, really weird, like, inaction and action. Like, you see Lux land the Q, you walk up, you Q her, you Q into her. With your combo and Lux's, you insta-give her. I don't know why you didn't do that. Like, for fuck's sake, you could have killed her and then W'd over the wall to safety. Missed the Q. Splendid. I'm not sure what's going on anymore. So top's getting fucking body as expected. You know, this is warded, so you come through here. If you want to apply pressure at all, you know Recton's here. You want to ping them back if you haven't already, or if they are moving up in any way whatsoever. This is fine, clear the way. You can't kill him, you're just a little bitch. And wow, who would have thought that Renekton's there? You didn't see him there, right there, like 10 minutes ago or anything. Interesting. I'm not sure what you're doing right here. You're looking for Echo? He's 3 levels up on you. By all means, he's going to fucking kill you. Let's compare this for the sake of it. Okay. He is level 13. You're level 10. What you have on your side is this buff. This glimpse of the void buff. However, it says 10 charges, so it's not going to be active. You're not going to get the proc. You're going to get damage reduction, but not the proc. Okay. Level 13, level 10. Items. He has a full proto belt and most of the components of his Lichbane. You have a warrior and a Tiamat. I'm very sure you're gonna get fucking slapped. Incredible. He didn't even need help. Arrogant of him, but that worked out. And regardless, it was a terrible choice by you to fight him there. Because who's going to help you? Pantheon? He's over here sucking his dick, dude. Nuno? Nuno's not going to provide any damage whatsoever. He's going to come up here, he's going to throw an ice ball, and then he's going to slap him with this wet noodle, which basically is not going to do anything. The fuck? Lots of interesting choices today. They're not going there. Oh my god. Get slapped. Jesus. Okay, let's keep going. Keep farming. It's worthy to note that you are level 10 at 20 minutes. 10 at 20 minutes, you are literally the same level as your ADC. You're actually a lower level than Ashe, who's level 11 at 20 minutes. You're equal level to the enemy jungler, but that's a terrible comparison because the enemy jungler is not going to be playing that well. This is lower elo. Now let's compare you to the solo laners. You are behind the 2-6 Pantheon in terms of levels. He's level 11. How much XP do you have? Okay, you're almost 11. How much XP does he have? He's almost level 12. So yeah, he's a full level ahead of you. He's also 2-6 with 87 farm. He's getting fucking slapped by this Echo, who is level 13. Echo is 3 levels above you. You are equal in level to the shitty mid laner who's getting butt blasted this entire game. And you're behind in level to the ADC of the enemy team. And that's sad. What this tells you is, like this comparison of levels, this tells you that you have not been playing efficiently. Like you have not been juggling your ganks and you're farm efficient. Either you're too focused on one, too focused on the other, and or you've died a shit ton. And let's see, yes, you've died a lot. You've died 5 times. You're 5 and 5. And I'm pretty sure by the end of this game you're like 18 and 17 or some shit. What this tells me is that you're extremely careless as a player, which is something that I've already seen through the parts of this replay already. But let's continue, and I'll draw some conclusions at the end. Okay, giving Moose your mid. Good. She's going to be a harder carry than you are. She's doing extremely well. She deserves that. You're going to fight over Ocean Drake? Let's see how this goes. Wow, nothing's happening on the map. I think you should have gone with that mid and pressured the tower. Apparently 2-0 towers. What are you going to do to her? Are you going to kill her? Let's see. How much time are we going to waste on this shit? A lot. You're slow to move out. Extremely slow. So much, in fact, that she gets away. Now, I want you to take a look at mid lane and tell me something. Now, is this tower down yet? No. Why is this tower not down yet? Well, there's an incredibly obvious reason why, and the reason is your bot lane. You did not follow your ADC and your mid lane to this place to push down this tower. It's currently 2-0 in towers, and you need to start equalizing that, because objective gold is so important to the entire team. However, you are extremely greedy. You went bot with Nunu, and you both sat here jerking off until Ashe started to overextend, and then you came out slowly while Nunu led the charge with his incredible CC chain that's extremely far range, and by that I mean he has none of those things. He's fucking worthless. And she gets away. You could be here, making this a 4v1 or a 3v1, and or taking this tower and snowballing that into more objective leads or objective like evening out for your team. But that's not going to happen because you never made that decision. Heck yeah, she's going to die because of you. Yep. Late to the party. Show your abilities. Your Lux is a beast. You're not. Your Lux is a beast. Okay, let's evaluate the situation as if you had gotten mid. If you had gotten mid immediately, let's assume that you would have played this correctly, or in such a way that Jinx did not die. Let's say that you and Nunu both went. In that case, this becomes a 4v2. You take a dump all over these two members, you proceed to come here, take this tower, and then you trade this one and this T2 for this T1 tower. That is positive. That's 2 kills, 2 towers, 1 tower. Let's say instead, only you come. The same result happens here. 3 versus 2, you still probably win this really hard. You still get these 2 towers. Either whether or not your support is joining you, quote unquote support, you made the wrong choice in going bot lane and arriving late here. Wow, she's bad. Anyway.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Instead, you're going to get, I think, an even trading kills for a net loss of 1 tower. It feels good, man. That was not even in the threats. Let us continue. At this point, you probably want to farm, then you want to play around your lanes. You want to go mid, you want to take this tower, and then you're probably going to contest Dragon, and then your Pantheon's going to die. Actually, he's tank. He'll live. He'll live. And now you should be moving towards this. Get Scuttle control. They're going to move towards bot. Bot's going to die. You want to move over immediately. Yes, stop the Renekton. Wow, that's unfortunate. You're kind of leaving her to die, aren't you?
Same thing.
Yeah, she's a little bit dead. You're gonna lose a tower, you're gonna lose a tower, and you're gonna lose the dragon off of this. Not being there fast enough, and your team getting caught out.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And you're here alone now. You're finally equal in level to the ADC. You're not doing too hot this game, bro.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Let's see, someone's right here, probably the support. Am I correct? Okay, it's the ADC, whatever. Someone's there. And you're walking into your jungle without any protection. And you weren't paying attention. Okay. So you just died for free here. At this point in the game, you should have already lost. I would say this is a completely lost game if the enemies play this correctly. Are they going to? Probably not. What did I just watch? At this point, I would say they back off because Lux has been shitting on them. The unfortunate part about this play is that you probably can't get much out of it. Looking at the positions of the waves, there's like no towers you can push. And you got this catch in bot lane, meaning that by the time you come over to Baron, if you ever decide to do this, they would be here in time to respawn, and it could one-shot all of you. So, good God, give it to Lux. Oh, thank God. Okay. So what you do here is you push out of the lanes. You don't let Jinx go here alone. Oh my God, she should. Oh, you're just farming up. That's fine. Incredible. Notice how at this point in the game, both teams are kind of dancing around doing nothing. They call Baron. Interesting. You know someone's right here. Oh, sorry, right here. Yeah. Wasn't sure where it spot. Apparently it's right here. Okay, that's fine. You see LeBlanc coming over. Their ball lane is Mia, but you can assume that they're around it because you saw them earlier here contesting the tower against Jinx. The fuck's going on? Go hard for her. Oh my God. Not sure what you're hoping to accomplish there. A flank. Okay, kick that quick. Sid, you're over here while they run in support. I love it. You're gonna die. Yep. Do you really think Sona's gonna be alone? Like, if anything, I would bet that she's always with her ADC. Your team's gonna get fucking dumped on. You're gonna lose Baron, you're probably gonna either lose Baron or you're gonna lose an inhibitor. Let's see what happens. Or Lux is gonna, like, somehow get a penta. I don't fucking know. Speed it up, find out. It's gonna be cool. Wow.
Executed.
Okay, so you lose an inhibitor. If they were good, they would be heading over to Baron right now and do it. Actually, how low are they? Quite. It's still acceptable for them to do this, Baron. The correct play here is for them to Baron, because your team has just respawned, you're not expecting it, and you're probably going to be going for the mid wave to protect against the supers. It's a good time for them to Baron, but they're not going to do it because they are not good players. At this point, you want to stall the fuck out of this game. That's basically what you want to do when the enemy team has a lead. Especially if it's a big one, you want to stall the game the fuck out, so that as the game goes on, the lead matters less and less as people start approaching full tilt. And also, there's a matter of percentages. Like, let's say you have a 10k lead, right? It matters at which point in the game you have a 10k lead. Let's say the team scores like 35,000 gold to 25,000 gold. In that case, it's a fucking massive lead because it's like a 40% advantage over the other one. But on the other hand, if it's like 65% to 55%, it's like 10% advantage, if you see what I mean. You want to stall the game, is my point. What? That was such an easy catch. Probably not a Baron here. Question mark. You're doing a really awkward Baron dance. They, however, are looking to Baron. This is the correct choice from them. The reason is this. This is the reason they're going to Baron right now. Because the only carry on your team that can actually do shit is split pushing, as Lux. So let's see how this turns out. He's probably dead as fuck. Indeed he is. Moving on. They're gonna do Baron. Are you gonna steal it? Is that how you're gonna win this game? Like, you have to freaking steal it. Holy shit, you stole it. Is this Jinx a god? Holy shit. Is she gonna die? Woo! Woo! Wow, that's a throw. Damn. From there, push out the waves, especially the mid, take dragons, and start crushing the towers with your Baron buff. Because you have 4 of them? 3 or 4 of them, let me check. Actually doesn't matter. Yeah, you have 3 of them. Wow, she's just gonna straight kill her. Okay. Well, it's a free dragon if you want it. Now it's too late. Never mind. And they hesitate on starting it. Okay. I love this team. What the ever-loving fuck is going on? I'm fairly certain you got carried by LeBlanc. Because that's AD LeBlanc. With static shiv. Okay. Okay then. The enemy team should be grouping up, picking off Lux, and then winning the game straight up. Are they going to do that? I'm going to guess no, because it said you won this game. There's some miracle freak of nature. Late game, boys. If this was a winning game, I would comment on how well you were pressing your lead, but since this is a losing game, I don't really have any comments. I will say that was extremely careless. And you're getting the fuck carried out of you. Then you got tower, you push her into tower, you dive them if they stay.
Red team's inhibitors respawning soon.
It's arrogant, you're gonna die if you press that. Well, at this point, you have like no impact on the game whatsoever. Like last fight, I think you got caught and then you did something else minor compared to your Lux and Lux. Your function here is to die. That is basically what I think you do at this stage in the game. What's gonna happen next? Let's see and find out. Okay, so they're pushing Rin ahead. This is a 5 move by them as 4. Where the fuck is Renekton? Oh, he's back here, okay. Jesus. Wow, she's carrying this. Fairly good Q. Pretty good Q, I'd say. He's just standing still, letting that happen. Oh my god, okay. You should probably get an inhib off of this. That looks so fucking funny. Oh my god. Wow, he TP'd for that shit. I'm sad. Okay, so skirmish is going on right now. Baron is spawning in 30 seconds. Your Jinx is spot. You want to stall this out and you want to not fight this without her except for catches by your Lux. Oh, you're gonna fucking start it? No way. Not without your AD. You're fucking. I have a question. What? Like, it's obvious why that was a bad fight from hindsight, right? You are lacking your 2 carries. You, in particular, are not very strong, comparatively. So you're not going to do very much. Instead, you go and you engage with the 4. And Lux carries you. Okay. Wow. I'm so sad right now.
Rampage.
What? Jesus. Baron is worth a lot more than Elder. Because you have an entire 1 dragon. It's kind of a worthless buff on you. Especially because your dragon is Cloud. Cloud's okay. I'm gonna call that luck. Because there's no fucking way you calculate that. Oh, good thing you have that worded. This is fine. Just get proper ward coverage from here. Interesting plays. Now group up and go mid. Why are you going bottom? What the fuck are you doing here? Like, I know you can get a kill here, but that's really not a good decision in the face of this right here. You have the carries over here. The big carry, the Jinx, is here. Your Lux is back, so this is the one you have to play around. Would you rather have a kill on the Lux? I mean, so. Or would you rather have this inhib? That was the choice I'm asking you to make. And you chose the kill over the inhib. If you got mid, you and Pantheon, this is pretty free because it's 4v2. I'm so sad right now. Get the tower, fam. You were standing back during nothing. As the Lee Sin. Okay. Now back off. Push this in. Get it here. Then do Baron. Okay, at least you're backing off. Are you gonna push this in? Yes, you are. Are you gonna do Baron? Oh, someone called it. Whew. Let's see it happen. The moment you want to do this is as soon as someone shows when this pushes in, not beforehand. Where are you? Doing Baron. Okay. I mean, Jinx is shitting on these turrets. You're not even part of this fight. Yeah, you literally did nothing. I think you've done an entire, like, 20 damage. You're gonna go die to LeBlanc. Okay. Okay, you're basically not doing anything in these fights. Your job is to stand on top of Jinx, and if Renekton dives on top of her, or Echo dives on top of her, you want to press R on them and you want to kick them off of your carry. You do not have the skill set to be engaging a fight. But your problem right now is, you are not with the team. What's happening is, Jinx is over here taking a tower, and you're over here jacking off saying, team, let's do Baron. When they're clearly not following. Regardless of whether or not it's the correct play, it's the incorrect play if the team doesn't follow. It's a fucking worthless thing to consider. You should have been here with your Jinx. Your job is to peel because she's actually gotten into hyper carry status. She's over. You on the other hand are Lee Sin. A Lee Sin with pretty poor mechanics. Who does not know how to team fight. Your function here is to make sure that your carries can do their job. She's soloing this shit? We'll help her. Interesting plays. Okay, let's put the game in. Right? It's basically over, right? See, the team split. This is a terrible choice by the Jinx in particular. Jesus. And now you cannot do anything. You should back off. You should wait for Lux to come out, give her blue, push out the sides. If they go push up too far, you kill one of them. Because in a 2v5, 2v4, you cannot do shit. What a beast. Now, you should all be going top lane and getting that in hit. Then your Baron buffs you in the game. Oh my god. This hurts me to watch. Okay. Let's see what happens here. At this point the game's basically over, so I'm just gonna let this play out while I do a summary of this game. So, what I see you defaulting to a lot in your jungling in the first 20 minutes of the game, which is the important part. That's the part that basically determines which player is going to better jungle. In that part, you have very poor decision making, as is the case with most junglers. You're rarely with the team. Or, okay, sorry, that's the wrong phase of the game. In the early phase of the game, I see you defaulting to farm a lot of the time. And that is a very bad habit as a Lee Sin. You have very little idea of how to read the enemy. If you can read the enemy, like if you can see one or two of their moves ahead of time, you will be able to counter them, and in doing so you will amass a massive lead, because they will not be expecting you to do what you do, but you're going to be expecting them to do what they do, if that makes any sense. Like the big example here was this counter gank top. If your Pantheon wasn't completely fucking retarded. Let's say this is an even lane, right? Where Echo's been poked down and Pantheon is pushing up. You should definitely be predicting a gank from Renekton, because that is exactly what a competent jungler in this top side would do. Or even a mediocre jungler. That's what a mediocre jungler would do in this position. However, you then go to your jungle and you farm it and you let you let the Renekton gank your lane for free. Except in this case, it was special. Your Pantheon is special. Let's not get to that. The other thing is predicting Renekton going bot and predicting the position of Renekton overall, just from small things like the scrying plant cones, and seeing him on any wards you've placed, or seeing him in a certain lane holding the lane when the laner dies. You are very bad at all of these things. You're also bad at pathing through the jungle to get to where the enemy is. Like your bank pathing is extremely linear, and it's, for lack of a better term, your gank pathing is simplistic. It's basically, oh, what is the simplest way to get there? I will take that path without considering how can I take a path that will allow me to come here by surprise or cut off their escape paths. Like either you want them to not know you're there or you want them to have no counterplay. That is the goal in a gank. And here I will say you did not do good this game at all. um you went for a pretty bad build. Like, Warrior is always a staple. Blue Smite is probably fine. You, however, should always be rushing Tiamat. Also, in this case, when you're getting shit on, you as a jungler, you were not doing that well. You were, like, your number of deaths is equal to your number of kills. That tells me a lot. You should not be getting a Black Cleaver. Damage is not what you want. You have plenty of damage in this hyper carry called Jinx. Your job this game is going to be to protect her. What you should have done instead was built Dead Man's Plate into a Visage, or Spectres into Dead Man's into Visage, because there were two massive threats this game. One is Echo, who you ganked repeatedly, and who killed you repeatedly. And the other one is Ashe, who is getting pretty fed off of Volley. You want to deal with both of them. You do not want to prioritize damage in your build. Like, the rest of the build is fine. Movie Boots, it's questionable. Actually, I said this earlier. Movie Boots are shit here. You should be getting Mercs because it's so good against their team. The Titanic is fine, but you got the team out too late in the stage of the game for me to call it good. This game, you got hard carried by Lux and Jinx. Your impact on this game was minimal at best. Like, the map pressure that you put out is nearly zero. Because you don't make good calls, you're late to a lot of the plays. Like, a lot of the plays this game that were bad for your team could have been turned really easily if you had been there. The counter gank top, the counter gank bot, etc., being with your team instead of farming the jungle when they need you. If you think something's going to happen, you cannot afford to walk half the map away and farm the camp on the other side of the map, if that makes any sense. As for working on these things, you should work on these things one at a time. The first step I think you should take is stop playing Lee Sin. Lee Sin is an extremely mechanical jungler, and if you try to focus on his mechanics and making flashy plays like you do, where you ward up behind someone, you kick them, and you QQ, you're not going to focus on what it means to be a jungler. Like, you're focusing too much on being a good Lee Sin, or trying to be, rather than trying to even be a good jungler. And that's probably the reason you're not doing well on this champion, in my opinion. Like, you're not doing well on this champion at all. The next step would be, do you remember what I did at the beginning of this replay analysis? I spent a good 5 to 10 minutes talking about what each lane matchup looks like and whether or not it's good to gank. Is it worth ganking? Let's review that. In a complete vacuum, this game, gank bot once or twice to get your hyper carry ahead because it's a hyper carry, and then gank top, camp top because it's a snowball lane with a heavy aggressive snowballer on your team. That will be the plan here. Alright. I hope to see you again in coaching some other time. Peace.